Hi guys, welcome to the second part of the reading session. So as I said in the first part, we're reading The Job Hunt today, which is on the Facebook page. But if you haven't done the first part of this video, go back and do the first part. It's like 10 minutes long. We're reading the first chapter of the book. So this is the second chapter. So yeah, do the first part of the video and then come back and do this one if you haven't already. So the bit we're on now, we're on page 14 and the title is Brooklyn. So that's where I'm going to start reading from now. Brooklyn. Kim took Kurt by the hand and the two of them set off so that Kim could look for a job. It was a summer morning in Brooklyn. There were lots of cars on the streets. There were people walking here and there. A man was sweeping the street outside his shop. Kim and Kurt walked until they got to Prospect Park. Kurt looked into the park as they went past. He saw people playing frisbee. He saw people on bikes. He saw a man playing fetch with his dog. He saw soccer players on their way to a game. He saw runners on their way to the gym. "Can we stop and play?" asked Kurt. "No," Kim said. "I have to get a job." Kurt slumped a bit to let Kim see that he was sad, but he kept walking. "Kim," he said after a bit, "will having a job make you a grown-up?" So the next page on the picture, what we can see is we see Kim holding Kurt's hand like that, so she's leading him along. Okay, so the next page, page 16. "Well, sort of," said Kim. "I'm in college. I think that makes me part kid and part grown-up. Will you still have time to play with me?" "Yes," Kim said, rubbing Kurt's arm. "We will have lots of time to play. I'll get a part-time job, one that is not too hard. That way I will not be too tired when I get home. Then we can play." "You should get a job at the Bronx Zoo," Kurt said. "Then you can play with the snakes and tigers." Kim said, "I don't think so. I don't like snakes, but we can visit the zoo. After I get a job, I will have cash to do fun things like that." Just then, Kim saw two old pals waving to her. "Lynn," she yelled. "Sheryl, what's up?" So the next picture we can see, we have Kurt and he's holding on to Kim like this. And across the road, we can see Kim's friends and they're waving. So you can see that. And the next page, Lynn and Sheryl cross the street. "Hi, Kim," said Lynn. "Are you home from college for the summer?" "Yes," said Kim. "It's good to be back here in Brooklyn." Kim slapped hands with her pals. Then she said, "You two have met Kurt, haven't you?" Lynn and Sheryl nodded. Lynn stooped down to look at Kurt and said, "Hi, big man. Would you like to come with us? We are going to Drummers Grove to see the drummers." "Drummers Grove?" Kurt said. "Can we go, Kim? Can we? Can we? Can we?" In the next picture, we've got all the two friends stood there. We've got Kim and Kurt is pulling on Kim's arm because he wants her to let him go with her friends. Kim hesitated. She needed to get started on her job hunt, but she wanted Kurt to have fun too. If she dragged him off without seeing the drummers, there was a chance he would get mad and fuss all day. That would not be much fun. "Okay," she said at last, "but just for a bit. I need to get started with my job hunt." And the next picture, we see them all walking together, so they're all going to see the drummers. And that's the end of that chapter. So what I'll do now is we'll go back through. So we'll go to the very beginning of this chapter and we'll just talk about it and I'll pick out some hard words. Okay, so the first page is page number 14. And what's happening here is they're walking along, they see the park and the things they see in the park. We'll talk about those. So they see a man sweeping the street outside his shop. So sweeping is like brushing, you're brushing the floor. So he's cleaning this floor. They see people playing frisbee. So when you play frisbee, it's a round, flat thing, and you throw it like this, and someone else catches it, and you throw it and catch it between you. So it's flat and it's round like this. I saw people on bikes playing fetch with his dog. So that's when you throw something to the dog and the dog brings it back to you. That's when we play fetch. And the other hard word is this word here. So he says, let me find it. Okay, so it's here. Kurt slumped here. So what that means is that he went like this. He went down, and what that means is he's sad. So he slumps to show Kim that he was sad. So he was feeling very sad, and so he slumps down like this. Okay. And the next page after this is page 16. What's happening here? So Kim tells Kurt that she's in college. So college is American for what we would call university. So she's at university, and so she says that makes her part kid. So she's partly a child, but she's also a grown up. She's an adult. And she says she's going to get a part-time job. So what that means is that she's going to work sometimes, but not all the time. So she might go to work on a Monday and a Wednesday, but not all the time. What else? So we also talk about the Bronx Zoo. So the Bronx is a place in New York, and so is Brooklyn, which is where they are in this chapter. So the Bronx Zoo is a place in New York where there's lots of animals. So they talk about snakes and tigers, and yeah, big animals in the zoo. And on page 18, so Kim has met her friends and they tell them they're going to Drummers Grove. So Drummers Grove is a place in New York where there are drummers, and drummers, a drum is an instrument, you hit it like this, and so they're going to see lots of people playing the drums. And on the last page, which is page 20, what is happening? So this is a hard word. The word, let me find it on here. Okay, so Kim hesitated. So that means that she wasn't sure. She wasn't sure. She hesitated, she stopped because she wanted to see the drummers, but she also wanted to go on her job hunt. So she waits, she's not sure. And we also have some questions about this chapter. So what I'll do is I'll read the questions, and then in your own time you can have a think about them. So pause the video and then I'll tell you the answer as well. So the first question, where are Kim and Kurt? And so the answer would be Kim and Kurt are in. So have a think about it and pause the video. You can have a look back as well. So in this chapter, Kim and Kurt are in Brooklyn, which is the title of this chapter. Yeah? So Kim and Kurt, it was a summer morning in Brooklyn, right there. Next question. When Kim and Kurt get to Prospect Park, what does Kurt want to do? Kurt wants to. So have a think about it yourself. So it's this part here. So Kurt says, can we stop and play? So they walk past the park, so they want to see, he wants to go play in the park. The third question, why is Kurt sad? So have a read through and pause the video. Okay, so the answer to this one is straight after this. So Kim says, no, I have to look for a job. And so Kurt is sad because Kim has to go look for a job. They can't play in the park. The fourth question, why is Kim looking for a part-time job? Okay, so the answer is, so Kim says, after I get a job, I will have the cash to do fun things like that. So she wants to have a job so she can make money to do fun things. And then the last question, where do Lynn and Sheryl invite Kim and Kurt to go? So the answer is they want them to go to Drummers Grove, which is a place in New York where people play the drums. They play the instrument, the drums. And that's the end of the questions for that one. So I'll finish this video here and yeah, thank you guys.